Afternoon, folks. We are back on some food delivery today, and I wanted to do an episode today focusing on the elusive lunchtime peak period, because I don't know about you, but as far as I'm concerned, there isn't really a peak period at lunchtime. All of these food delivery apps, they claim that if you work at lunchtime, that's when your earnings are going to spike, lunch and dinner time. But in my 2.5 years experience doing this job, there's only one peak period of the day, and that's the evening. It's just gone 11 o'clock. I have been working for a little bit, so I'm heading back now from a delivery I've just finished. But we will disregard the I think £9.98 that I've made on Uber Eats this morning, and we'll just focus on what we can make between 11 AM and 2 PM, covering those 3 hours over the lunch period. Because you think now at around 11 o'clock people are starting to think about lunch, and they will probably want to get their orders in so that it gets delivered in good time. I'm not expecting it to be great. It is Thursday, the weather's pretty good, it's a normal working day, it's not the holidays or anything, so yeah, I've got a feeling it's going to be a quiet one. Right, I'm going to head to a good waiting spot for lunch orders, try and situate myself between the restaurants likely to get lunch orders and a couple of supermarkets as well, because they tend to be pretty steady all day, so I can't see myself declining anything, to be honest. Pretty much going to be accepting everything that comes our way. We'll see how long it takes to get our first one in. Alright, 12 minutes since I started the video, still nothing. We're parked up now. Hopefully something comes in soon. But I have just remembered, whilst I've done 2 orders on Uber earlier, I've been on Deliveroo since about 5 to 10. So almost an hour and a half of being online on Deliveroo, and I haven't had a single ping. Not looking good. 8 minutes to 12, we've just had our first ping, courtesy of Uber Eats. We're now on about 2 hours on Deliveroo with absolutely nothing being offered our way. But we're at least now heading to Co-op on Uber Eats to get one job done in this first dreadful hour of this lunchtime shift. I waited over by Morrison's for about half an hour, got absolutely nothing. So I relocated to the Sainsbury's car park here, which is a bit closer to the restaurants and a little bit further from some of the other shops that tend to get orders. Oh, I'm getting through you, mate. And I mean, despite that, I'm getting a ping, 2 miles away. So it probably didn't really make any difference moving there. I mean, I thought it was going to be quiet, but to go almost an hour without a ping on either app, I mean, it just goes to show the grind you have to be willing to put up with. Oh my God, Deliveroo. I mean, that's an even worse offer than the one I'm doing. And we're committed to this Uber now, so that's going to have to be a no. And Deliveroo pops up with another one straight away that isn't as bad, but there's no way I can do that and this Uber simultaneously. Should I ditch this Uber and do that one? It's significantly further, but given how quiet it is, that one is paying more. I don't know what to do. I need to decide. We're gonna go with the Deliveroo, I think. I'm gonna cancel this Uber. I'm just gonna have to make a decision to go with the higher paying order. Yes, it is more mileage and might not work out in my favor if the orders pick up, because I'll be slower to get back available for more deliveries. But when it's this quiet, you have to assume you're gonna be waiting for the next one again. So I think it makes sense to take the higher paying order for this one. Here we are, 2.7 miles from Sainsbury's, so probably going to be close to a 10-minute drive. Depends how many traffic lights I get stopped at. But I think we've made the right decision by going for this one instead. It is just so frustrating when you wait nearly an hour for any ping on any app, and then you get 3 at once, and you've just got to pick one. You want to do all of them. And look, if I was a multi-apper, maybe I would have taken that Uber, gone and done this Deliveroo, and then gone back to do the Uber and get it done like half an hour late, because Uber doesn't punish you for timekeeping, whereas Deliveroo does. But that is not me. I want to make sure customers have a good experience on these apps, because if they don't, they just won't use them again, and that makes our jobs even harder in the future. So we're just doing the one that offered the most money. And yeah, like I said, hopefully it's the right choice for the afternoon. And I'm praying that things pick up a little bit. It's now 12 o'clock, so we're going to be getting this one done probably 20 past 12. That's going to be nearly halfway through the lunch period that I'm filming today, and we're going to be on £5. What was it, £5.95? Oh man alive. All right, we're here. By the way, this is the Sainsbury's on the outskirts of Taunton, not the one I was waiting at, hence the drive. At least this one's only a small order. Should be ready. Oh, okay. It's not £5.95, it's £5.75. Oh, where did I park? There I am. Right, so we have got a 8-minute, 2.3 mile drive. Arrival 19 minutes past 12. So we're going to be on 5.75 at that point, and we've got a lot of catching up to do before 2 o'clock. Annoyingly, I forgot to switch off Uber. I cancelled that co-op that I originally took. Then I forgot to switch off Uber, and just as I was arriving here, 2 different Ubers popped up, both for the McDonald's just down there, and couldn't do either of them. So I've logged off Uber now, and hopefully once we've delivered this and we go back on Uber, it's still relatively active and we can get something. But look, I'm not going to act too surprised that it's been this quiet. Part of the reason I'm filming this is to demonstrate how bad this job is during the day at the minute, because it didn't used to be like this. You could pretty much work all hours of the day and you'd be getting something. Like, you could reasonably work during the day and make, okay, fine, still not a great wage, but you wouldn't be sat around for nearly an hour on 2 different apps waiting for a single ping. And the annoying thing was, whilst I was waiting, I saw 4 or 5 other delivery drivers walking with their bags, presumably going to pick up an order. Yeah, I think it's fairly obvious what the problem here is. Too many riders, not enough orders. And I've spoken about it before, this whole free login model where Deliveroo, Uber Eats, they have no idea how many people are going to choose to work on any given day at any given time. So the only way to combat that is just to overhire, onboard way more drivers than they could possibly need to guarantee that even at the quiet hours there are plenty of people online waiting for orders. And that's great for them because they're only paying when things get delivered, but for the people going out to work, it's an absolute nightmare. I mean, I nearly fell asleep waiting for this first order of the lunch period. I mean, it would be nice if the apps gave us some kind of indication of how many drivers are online. And I know Deliveroo has the kind of busy indicators, but they're not useful. It can be not busy and you're getting flooded with orders. It can be busy and you're getting absolutely nothing. It's not useful. If the apps were a little bit more transparent and did something like, for example, showing you how many other drivers are online in the area, you could very quickly begin to pick up an idea of at what point the number of drivers is just too many and there's no point going out. But obviously for business reasons, they're never going to give you that kind of information. Why would they want to put you off from logging on and working for them when it costs them absolutely nothing for you to be sat online waiting for orders? There's definitely an ethical question around these practices. As much as I like the freedom of the job, I quickly forget about that when you have periods like this where there's clearly too many people out working and the apps are just happy to let you sit there waiting for orders with absolutely no idea of when you're going to get a job. And I think this is also a perfect example of why I think if you do this job in a car, you absolutely need to be on Amazon Flex, especially now. And these apps are so quiet during the day. In the evenings, they're still all right in general, but if you're not on Amazon Flex, I don't know how you can make this work. A while ago I did my 9 to 5 Monday to Friday challenge, and whilst I didn't make a huge amount of money, I did make above the national living wage at the time. But I've got a feeling if I were to do that now, if I was doing that this week, we would have a much, much worse result. Yeah, what was their code for that one? 67? Yeah. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Right, there's our £5.75. Still not busy on Deliveroo. 20 past 12. Okie dokie. Uber is sending us all the way up to Cotford St Luke, but for £7 in this climate, I can't really say no. £6.95, 6 mile drive. The stinger there is the drive back, but if I actually had the choice of orders, I would decline that, but there is no way I can turn down a £7 job. So it looks like we're going to be doing it. The one redeeming factor is that Iceland, normally pretty good, it's normally ready when we get there, and they have a car park at the rear where we collect them, so I don't need to fight for parking somewhere in town, because the front entrance to Iceland is on the pedestrianised high street just up there. Yeah, it's only recently that Uber opened up the area to include Cotford St Luke. So it's actually not part of Taunton at all. It's a TA postcode, I think, but that's about where the relationship ends. Deliveroo does not deliver out that far. It's only Uber Eats as far as I know. And generally speaking, you don't want to be going that far out because it's quite the drive back into Taunton from there. It's, you know, I'm used to only delivering to Cotford St Luke for Amazon Flex, doing the Morrison's deliveries, but well, Uber Eats goes there now as well. And it does, in theory, open up a wider customer base for us drivers, so I won't complain. Right, Iceland's just up there. I need to go around the one-way system and we'll go grab this order. Oh mate, got a Uber 9B800. Yeah. Lovely.
All right.
Yeah, perfect. No problem. Thanks a lot. Nice quick pickups are all we can hope for now. We are just over 5 miles and a 15-minute drive from this customer. As I expected, it's quite a far one, but paying almost 7 quid, it's the equivalent of doing 2 smaller jobs. And honestly, with how quiet it's been, I think would have taken longer to wait for and deliver 2 smaller orders. So sometimes in this job, there's a bit of gambling involved. You know, you need to think, do I take this job that's a little bit high on distance and involves kind of driving back to a good area, or do you wait and hope for some closer jobs? It's all about knowing your area, picking up on patterns, just using your intuition. You know, how is the day going so far? Is it likely to pick up? What's the weather looking like? Weather plays a massive part in how busy these apps are. So yeah, for me, I think this is the right job to take. So 12 minutes away, let's go and get it done. Here we are. Tell you what, it's nice to have a sunny day.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks a lot. Cheers. I mean, that drive, whilst it was quite heavy on the mileage, because a lot of it is just a national speed limit road, goes by quite quickly and is about as friendly to your mileage as long distances can be. Technically, we could still receive orders from Taunton from here, because it's happened to me before. I don't know if you know this, but at least for car drivers, I don't know for other vehicles, but your pay that you get offered for a trip does now factor in your distance from the pickup. I'm certainly not going to be getting any offers unless there's absolutely no other drivers available. And today I think there are plenty. So yeah, we are 3 minutes now from 1 o'clock. We've got just over an hour left of the lunch period. And we're on, what, just under 13 quid or something before expenses. We're gonna need a godlike hour to get anything close to minimum wage, but still, we move. Let's see what we can do. Okay, I've been back waiting in my usual spot for half an hour-ish now. It's now 1:30, and I'm calling the day here. I'm done, I can't do this anymore. Sometimes you just have to cut your losses and go, I'll work a different day instead. So I'm gonna do another day at the weekend instead of draining myself trying to make a decent wage today. So I've plugged the numbers in for what we've done since 6 minutes past 11. 2.4 hours work from then until 1:30. Our total income was £12.70. We actually covered 23 miles somehow. I think a lot of that was the driving to waiting spots and then the drive back from that last delivery I did. So £3.61 on fuel, £1.20 for insurance. Net profit, £7.89. We made, during the lunchtime peak, £3.29 per hour. That's a new record for my worst ever period of work in this job. Okay, you can barely call it a shift. I managed just over 2 hours and I'm done. I'm going home. I can't do this. This is precisely why I do Amazon Flex during the day. Food delivery during the day is done. You can't do it. These apps are great for making a bit of extra cash in the evening, possibly all day at weekends. And I know this is an extreme example. Some lunchtimes are great, but I can tell you now, I've been working all week. I've done full days and I've had at least a couple of other lunchtimes as bad as this. Luckily, the day was rescued by working later into the evening. But if you're considering this job as kind of like a lunchtime gig, just going out during the day when the kids are at school, don't even waste your time signing up to the apps. There is no point. Yeah, you might get the odd lunchtime where things are busy, but as of lately, with the number of riders that are out doing this job, the delivery apps knowing that they can just onboard people, it doesn't cost them anything to have surplus riders online, and it just means that we take the brunt of it. We sit around and wait for orders. I did 2 deliveries in over 2 hours and I made £3.29 an hour. So this. Next time we're going to get out and we're going to do an evening shift, or we'll do a weekend or something like that, because there are times you can earn decent money. This was not one of them. Thanks for joining me, guys. As always, I'll catch you soon. Peace.